Xiaomi, for those of us familiar with, has been synonymous with low-cost, high-performance products. Here's Xiaomi's first tablet, the Mi Pad. iPad mini comparisons aside, on paper the Mi Pad seems to have great specs and offers very good value. So is this tablet a must-buy, or is there more to it than meets the eye? Well, that's what we aim to find out in this video. So if this is your first time here, or in case you've plain old forgotten, my name's Ash and you're watching C4E Tech. Let's get started. As always, let's begin with the build and design. The Xiaomi Mi Pad resembles the iPad mini in a lot of ways. The dimensions are very similar. The Mi Pad's a tad thicker at 8.5mm and it packs in a similar 7.9-inch Retina display. The back's made out of plastic, similar to what you'd find on an iPhone 5C. To the front, on top, we have the Mi branding, sensors, notification LED, and a 5-megapixel front-facing camera. Lower below, a 7.9-inch display with a 1536 by 2048 pixel resolution. Below that, we have the capacitive open apps, home and back keys. With the back, to the top left, we have a 8-megapixel camera with a microphone and again another microphone at the center. At the bottom, we have the Mi branding and below that, the dual stereo speakers. To the right, we have the volume rockers and the power button. At the bottom, a micro USB 2.0 port. To the left, a micro SD card slot, which supports micro SD cards up to 128 gigs, and on top, a 3.5mm headphone jack. Xiaomi devices usually feel well built, but unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case here. With the Mi Pad, I've had a few creaking issues with the back, and on further investigation, found the back to be held to the tablet with two-sided tape. Well, that wasn't very reassuring. Also, the plastic bag's very slippery, and I just haven't been able to get a good grip. The constant threat of dropping your tablet goes a long way in ruining the whole experience, and sadly that's the case here. Anyway, the Mi Pad more than makes up for its mediocre build with amazing specs. It's powered by the NVIDIA Tegra K1 chipset. This houses 4 beefy Cortex A15 cores clocked at 2.2 GHz each, a 3rd generation companion core, a 192-core GPU featuring the GeForce Kepler architecture, and 2 gigs of RAM. This makes the Mi Pad a monster in terms of specs, and it shows in synthetic benchmarks. As you can see, the Mi Pad blew the competition away, especially when it comes to GPU intensive tasks. And this translates to real day-to-day usage as well. Again, with tasks like gaming, the Mi Pad barely broke a sweat. It's also worth noting that, with Tegra K1 on board, the Mi Pad gets access to a lot of Tegra K1 exclusive quality games. But even gaming's not without its issues. While the resolution is similar to that of the iPad mini with Retina, it's not a common Android resolution. This means occasionally we run into games that have issues scaling, games that either stretch or letterbox. This will only change over time. Anyway, the audio via earphones is top notch and the speakers, while clear, aren't too loud. I'm not a huge fan of the placement either, since it's pretty easy to cover them. It's also worth noting that the Mi Pad lacks NFC, GPS, and a 3G or LTE variant. And frankly, that's a little disappointing. Anyway, all this is powered by a 6700 mAh battery, and the battery life is great. On a looping video playback tests, we got close to 11 hours of video playback before the Mi Pad ran out of juice. The standby time's pretty awesome too. We barely experienced any battery drain through the night. Moving on, the Gorilla Glass 3 covered 7.9-inch IPS LCD display boasts of a resolution of 1536 by 2048 pixels. This gives the Mi Pad a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch. The display is bright and sharp and offers very good viewing angles. Sunlight legibility is pretty good too. Despite the fact that the display is a little too warm and there's some minor backlight bleeding, it's still a great display. And whether it's watching a movie or reading a book, the display is not going to let you down. While cameras aren't too important on a tablet, Xiaomi has provided 2 very decent shooters here. Both the 8-megapixel rear and 5-megapixel front cameras can shoot some very good pictures. The lack of an LED flash means the Mi Pad's not going to be of much use in low light. The decent hardware here is let on only by a mediocre UI. I can't believe this version of a camera UI made it onto a final product. There's very few controls here, and I'm pretty sure Xiaomi will come up with an update and add functionality to it, but as of today the camera software is bare bones and, dare I say, disappointing. Let's now move on to the software. The Mi Pad runs on Android 4.4.2 KitKat with Xiaomi's own custom MIUI on top. Generally, I'm a huge fan of Xiaomi's MIUI. While it's not as fast as, say, stock KitKat on an Nexus 5, it's smooth, doesn't lag, and has tons of useful apps and customization options. And here's where the Mi Pad's issues compound. Just like with the camera UI, there's a ton of stuff missing here. Like for example, the fan favorite security app, or any kind of customization options whatsoever. Don't get me wrong here, the UI is not unusable, far from it. It functions quite well. You have your regular homepage with no app drawer, and to the left you can add pages filled with widgets. Think Samsung's magazine UI. For the most part, everything's smooth and fast, apps open up quick, multitasking's great, and there's no lag. But as functional as the UI is, MIUI's hugest selling point has always been the vast, endless array of customization it offered. Remove that from the equation and all we have left is a UI that makes this powerhouse of a tablet look like a bad iPad mini knockoff. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy a Mi Pad, absolutely not, because for all its flaws, it's still priced very competitively even with reseller markups. And Xiaomi's always been very good at supporting their devices. I strongly believe that Xiaomi would iron out these software issues within a few months, but that begs the question, why release a tablet that's mostly a work in progress? Because that's what this is, it feels like a work in progress. And end of the day, this hurts Xiaomi's reputation. And okay, let me put it this way. For example, let's take the Xiaomi Mi 3. I'd say it's a great phone, say even if Xiaomi is pricing the Mi 3 30 to 50% higher than what it is today, I'd still call it a great phone. Unfortunately, that doesn't hold true here with the Mi Pad. The Mi Pad is a great tablet for the price, and the emphasis here is more on for the price. I'd still recommend it to anyone, but unlike with the Redmi or the Mi 3, I wouldn't recommend the Mi Pad if it were priced any higher. Anyway, I'm going to cut Xiaomi some slack here since this is their first tablet offering, and I'm going to hold on to the Mi Pad for a few more months. I believe Xiaomi will fix quite a few of these issues in that time, and I will come back and do a second review then. In the meantime, if you do want to pick up a Mi Pad, you can do that from xiaomiworld.com. I'll leave a direct link down below in the description. You could also use the discount code C4ETech, all lowercase, to get $5 off. The discount or the discount code itself might change in the future, and as and when it does, I'll let you guys know in the description below, so please check that before you order. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up, and for more videos like these, please do stay subscribed. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4ETech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.